This is my first YouTube video, so I'm very excited. So today I'm going to be talking about the things that I learned in 2025 and the things that I want to learn in 2026. The first thing that I learned this year is the courage to be disliked, which is like the book. And shout out to my mommy for sharing this book with me. This book tackles a lot of concepts, but it's as anything, any self-help, any advice, you take what you need, take things with a grain of salt. Overarching idea throughout the book is that unhappiness comes from within you and not from the world. And one of the quotes from the book that I really like is, "Your unhappiness cannot be blamed on your past or your environment. It isn't that you lack competence, you just lack courage. One might say that you're lacking in the courage to be happy." And I really like to think of it as to be cringe is to be free, or climbing the cringe mountain. But another way that I also remind myself of this concept is whenever I'm looking at artists or creatives, performers, whatever, when they're starting off, they have this inner goal that will bring them deeper satisfaction. But if they only relied on other people's expectations, society's expectations, they would have never had the courage to do those things. And so by climbing that cringe mountain, they were able to find deeper satisfaction and in return find success. Just being so caught up in your head over what people think and expect of you is just so draining. Like, don't you feel drained? We all have so much freedom to decide the kind of life and the kind of way we want to express ourselves, and by creating our own jail, like, people are probably not even thinking about you that much, to be real completely honest. You're just creating a jail for yourself. So that's basically point one. Another thing that I learned this year is being completely open. I think this idea is represented in two main ways, at least in my life. And I honestly have been loving how this lesson has been teaching me this year. I've been proven wrong so many times. I think I've been very judgmental towards people, and I've always thought, like, I am never going to get along with this person. Like, we are just on different scales of personalities. And I've actually became really good friends with people that I didn't think I was going to be really good friends with. I've learned from so many people that I thought were delusional or crazy, or I just never thought I could learn something from. I love being proved wrong. That comes from being open. Another way that this has been present in my life is through ideas. I think going to college, I was very set on, I'm going to be a filmmaker. That's my end goal. And I think over the past year, I've had so many different turns in what I want to do for my career, which right now I kind of don't know, but I kind of do, and that's okay. And I think just by being open, opportunities will present themselves, and you know, experimenting, especially when you're young, is so important. And I've been having so much fun, and even this, going on social media, I feel like I've been posting so much recently, and it's been very daunting and scary, but I thought that if it's something that I really want to do within me, I should have that courage and get over that cringe mountain. Another big lesson I learned this year is that closed mouths don't get fed. And it is so crazy how many opportunities can come out of just speaking up or asking for it. And I'm just gonna give you a little story time. There was this opportunity that I really wanted, and I went to the event. It was great. And I was like, darn, like, I really want to get this opportunity. Like, how do I get in? And I was making it so hard for myself. Like, I was like, oh, I need to do this. I have to make a good impression. I need to talk to them. Da 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 da. Like, I should not ask them up front. And I met this one girl at that event, and she was like, why don't you just ask? And so she brought me with her, and we went up to one of the recruiters, and she was like, hey, this is my really good friend. She wants a chance at that opportunity that you guys have been talking about. And the recruiter was like, yeah, just send me your email. And I was like, oh, it was that easy, just asking, and I could have gotten the opportunity. That being said, I learned a really valuable lesson that night. I was making things way harder than they actually should be. And from there, I really was just like, I want to learn more. Reach out to that person. I want to work with you. Reach out to that person. Like, you literally, the worst thing that could happen is a no. The worst thing that could have happened from that event was the recruiter was like, I'm sorry, no. But if I haven't had asked, I would have been missing out on an opportunity that I really wanted. So going on to things that I want to learn by 2026. So this is one that I've been kind of tiptoeing. I had an amazing mentor over the summer in LA, and they told me this piece of advice, which was have more audacity. And I was like, okay. But then throughout that summer, I was seeing a lot of people that they were doing these amazing, great things. And I was like, what? Like, why don't I have that, you know? So I started realizing it's because they have audacity. They don't make themselves inferior. They present themselves as they know what they're doing. Little ways that I have been trying to have more audacity is through saying my opinions. There's so many times where someone would say something and I would want to say something back or have an opinion on it, and someone else with more audacity would say that and they look like the smartest person in the room because they had audacity. So I think speaking up, saying your opinion, sharing your opinion more is a small act of audacity. Another small act of audacity is asking questions, being curious. I think asking questions, even if it seems stupid, I always am jealous of the person who asks the stupid questions because it shows that they care and they have audacity and they're speaking up and they're making themselves known in a crowd full of people who probably have super smart questions but don't have the audacity to ask them. Another thing that I really want to learn is to consume less and create more. I feel like whenever I'm in a creative rut, I always think that I need to consume more, watch more movies, look at more art, read more things, but I think creative fasting in a way is very beneficial because it allows you to create art that comes from somewhere very deeply personal, and once you create something that's very personal, people know it's you and makes it very easy for people to know that it's me, that I'm the creator, and it makes it easy for people to find me in that art, you know? I feel like if you're consuming a lot of content that doesn't feel like you and you create content that's similar to that, your content can kind of feel out of place or insincere, or could also just drown in the sea of content that looks the same. So I think it's very important to learn when to take a step back. Consuming content is very important in learning skill, but I think using it as the main form of finding creativity or inspiration for an idea is not very beneficial. Learning how to consciously consume is important for this upcoming year for me. Another thing that I need to learn this year is be financially literate. This is very self-explanatory. I am graduating, so I think it's very important for me to get bearings on my spending, so I will not expand further on this point. Another thing I really want to learn this year is experimenting in public. And this kind of ties back to the courage to be disliked. But I think for me, personally, I see myself as two entities. I think I see myself as like the self, and then I see myself in the content and that I create, whether it's, you know, things that I post online, my art, my writing, my photography, etc. And so I think I'm very comfortable in how people perceive me and like my personality and everything and the way I look, whatever. But I think when it comes to my art and my content, I'm still quite reserved, and I think a big way for me to be more comfortable with that side of myself is to experiment online. I'm someone that wants to be perfect on the first try, and I need to know that perfection takes time and experimentation, and especially when it comes to art where it deserves an audience, you have to be willing to be a fool and experiment online. And I say online because I feel like that's the main way that people consume media and art nowadays. So, and I think another reason why experimenting in public is very important, because you never know who's going to see it and who is going to believe in you, even when a lot of people. This is like that Lady Gaga meme. There can be 100 people in a room, but it takes that one person to believe in you, which is true. You never know who's going to see it and might resonate with it and can see the potential and will watch you grow, and opportunities will start coming to you instead of you chasing opportunities. And then my final point that I want to learn in 2026 is how to regulate my nervous system. Ever since I can remember, I've had really bad teeth grinding and nail biting issues, and I feel like a lot of it stems from me not knowing how to regulate my nervous system. Like, that is my body screaming for help. And a great way that I've been trying to regulate that system is by doing my morning pages or journaling. Shout out to The Artist Way. I'm in week 4. Might do a vlog on that, but I think being more persistent on those morning pages, I feel like whenever I do them consistently, I do find myself being more relaxed. So yeah, finding those systems that can help me regulate my nervous system is something that I really want to learn in 2026. So those are all the things that I've learned in 2025 and things that I want to learn in 2026. And this was my first video, so I really hope it resonates with someone, or you learned something new that you want to go and research, either that is being the artist's way, the courage to be disliked, or I don't know. If you resonate with any of these, drop a like, drop a comment, subscribe, and I don't know if I should make more of these videos. I probably will. This is my first YouTube video, and it's something that I've been wanting to do. And it's crazy because as a kid, I've always wanted to do YouTube videos, and now I'm doing them. So, bye.